Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very interesting worth the buy or not. So I think I briefly mentioned this in one of my videos, but when I was in Europe, in Portugal to be exact, I went ahead and went into one of their Sephora stores, and while I was in the Sephora store, I saw that they had the Sicily primer. If you guys know anything about Sicily, you guys know it's a very luxurious, expensive brand. And I've had my eyes on this primer for quite some time now. It's been very raved about in the YouTube community by some really big influencers. And I've just been really curious because I honestly am a firm believer that primer makes a big difference in your makeup. I feel like it changes lives, it changes the game, and if these people who have flawless skin and their makeup looks so perfect are raving about it, then I want to try it. The only thing holding me back was that price tag. That price tag was pretty hefty. This primer right here retails for $192. And I know some of you guys are probably like, girl, you're crazy. Do you know what you could do with $192? And I totally understand, which is why for a very long time, I held off buying it because I was like, no, I cannot do that. That is too much money. I have some great drugstore primers that are like $13, $14 tops, and they work great. Why am I gonna buy this primer? But I feel like when you constantly want something, you wanna try it, I think there comes a point, if you're still thinking about it a year later, then you should definitely try it. And also, I mean, I do a lot of reviews here on my channel, so why not try it out for you guys so that I can let you guys know in case you have been curious about perhaps purchasing this primer, whether it's worth your cash or not. I'm gonna start off right now by reading some claims. So it's supposed to be a moisturizing and ultra fresh gel with second skin-like lifting and priming effect. It's also great that I'm doing this kind of before the holidays. So in case you are curious about this, you could always ask for it as a Christmas gift. You know what I mean? You don't have to get it yourself. And then it says, for who is it for? It's for anyone who wants immediate and long-term lifting and firming results. I am 22 years old, so that may not be something that I'm right now necessarily looking for because I am, you know, still have this firmness in here, but there may be something that really stands out in here. So let's keep reading. So what it does is that it has oak seed extracts, which create a continuous, stretchy, and flexible 3D mesh on the skin surface. And it smooths the skin for immediate lifting sensation. I'm all about smoothing. It also has lemon extracts, which tone and smooth the skin, and a combination of plant-based ingredients and cottonseed extracts to strengthen the dermal structure. Signs of fatigue are instantly faded. And then you basically just apply it all over your daily skincare products. And you can also use it as a base for makeup to help foundation last longer. So this is what the bottle looks like. It's very cute. It kind of reminds me of like the Drunk Elephant type of packaging that they have, usually like white, and just dropped it. Okay, that's where we stand today. So now we can move on to the primer because we did moisturize for our first day beauty instant repair cream. So of course it comes with this beautiful little pump, which we all love and adore. Pumps are always a good situation, especially for primers. I prefer a pump over like the squeezy situation. Like I love my Milani primer, but I prefer something like this. So I'm excited to see what type of consistency this is and how it does. Also, Sicily is from Paris, so you guys all know that it's about to be some real fine luxury. Okay, so I brought you guys in very close. As you can see, this is my face. I'm gonna move my hoodie a little bit down so it's not all over. This is my face. My rosacea, it's not bad today. It was a little bad yesterday. It's always when I'm not filming that it gets kind of bad. There is a little bit of redness and there is some texture, just so you guys can see that. That's what happens when you have rosacea. Pretty common. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with one side of our face. You know what? Maybe what I'm gonna do is do one side of the face with Sicily and one side of the face with no primer so that we can actually see if it makes a big difference. So let's go ahead and just pump this out. Ooh, I already like this consistency. This is the type of consistency that I prefer for primer, when it's like a nice gel-like consistency. This works really well with my skin. It has a very fresh scent. It's almost kind of like a nut scent. It does have the lemon and the nut extracts. So let's just go ahead and apply it. Okay, so as I'm applying it, you can see it definitely has a little bit of like a shine on there. I'm so excited. I'm like scared to use too much of it. I'm like, I don't want to use too much of it because that's $192, y'all. If you know me, I love my primer. I'm a primer gal. I feel like primer saves lives. Primer, in case you guys don't know much about primer, in my eyes, primer creates a barrier between the foundation and your skin. You never want to put foundation straight onto your skin because A, it's not good for your skin to just have the foundation just sitting there on top of it. B, I feel like when you just put foundation on the skin with no base on like below it, it's just going to not last all day. It's not gonna look nice and it's just not gonna work out. And then the next day you're gonna wake up and maybe or probably have some acne and stuff like that. I already went ahead and applied primer on this side. And as you can see, when we first applied it, it kind of had like that little wet consistency. It definitely soaked up into my skin great. It looks nice and radiant still, but it definitely looks more so like it's been absorbed into my skin, which I am appreciating. I also went and applied it on this side and some on this side. It adds like a pretty radiance. It also feels like it's hydrating my skin, which I really appreciate. I always love when something can hydrate my skin and making it feel a little bit more ready for the day. So this is what it's looking like with the Sicily primer, and this is my skin without primer. This kind of scares me, but this is for the purpose of the video. Yeah. And also, primer isn't just, you know, for long wear. You could get it for multiple reasons. If you want to minimize your pores, mattifying primer, a more luminous primer, something like that. This is just more so for smoothing and long wearing. So that's what I'm hoping for. It doesn't really say anything too much about like, whoa, okay. I don't see my pores though. It didn't say anything about minimizing my pores, but I don't really see my pores that much. Like, my skin looks very poreless. Excuse my hair, but I'm coming in a little bit closer so you guys can really see my skin. And now we're going to move on to foundation. So the foundation that I've been wearing a lot lately since I reviewed it, if you haven't seen my ColourPop review, go watch it because it's really good. I reviewed the new No Filter Stick Foundation, this one right here, and this is what we're gonna be using to put the foundation on. Which is great because this one is only $10. So if there's something that you wanna take away from this video and you can't afford that one or you do not wanna even think about that one, then just know that there's good foundations out there for a very affordable price. So let's go ahead and just swipe this. I'm gonna start with this side. I'm just gonna do those little stripes. Stripe it up here. So this is in the color medium dark 121. And I'm just gonna be using my Morphe sponge. So besides the primer, everything else is going to be fairly affordable, so no worries. The sponge is only $7, so yeah. I don't know, I feel like a lot of you guys are probably like, girl, you are ridiculous for spending that much money on a primer, and you know what, you're right. You're very right, but I'm doing this for you guys. As soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah, I want it, but I also had you guys in mind. I was like, I know there's gonna be somebody out there that's gonna wanna know about this primer, or maybe has been eyeing it that is too scared to purchase it because it's expensive and wants me to purchase it first. And hey, I'll take one for the team. Okay, that foundation blended out great. It looks really good. You guys can see. And also, if I do end up liking this, I probably more so will wear it for like special occasions because it's gonna be more so for, you know, that type of thing when I really want to look snatched. The foundation naturally looks really nice, but there's something about the way that this foundation and the primer worked that I'm really liking right now. Like, it just, like, my skin looks really good. It looks really, really good. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and take the foundation on the side where we do not have primer and see how this looks and how it applies. Okay, so on this side, so far, the first thing I noticed, because I'm not using primer and I have really oily skin, it just stripes so like fast and pigmented, probably because my oils are picking up. I'm so intrigued right now. I hope you guys are as intrigued as I am. Like, I really want to see how this does. Okay, I'm already seeing some differences right away. We're gonna talk about them in a second. I'm just gonna finish blending this forehead because I don't want to miss any little spots. Okay, so I went ahead and covered the full face, as you can see right here. And there's definitely some differences that I'm noticing right away. I'm gonna come as close as I possibly can to you guys because I want you to see what's going on right here. So I don't know if you guys can see, but right in this area right here, the foundation and my skin are just not working together. It's breaking apart a lot right here. So as you can see, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm a huge believer in primer because primer really, really does set the law down, and it just kind of makes everything come together beautifully. You can have a great foundation, but honestly, at the end of the day, the primer is what's gonna really make it pop and be beautiful. I feel like primer is like truly the winner of, you know, doing the face, the foundation with makeup. And then this side, there's no separation. It looks really healthy, really nice on the skin, and it just looks like a nice, clean, smooth skin base. At first I was like, oh my God, they look very similar. Why the hell did I spend $192 on this? But then as I got closer, I started to notice that this was breaking apart right here. Okay, so as you guys saw, there is a difference right now. Very, very first impressions between the two. We use the same sponge, we use the same foundation, and there is a difference. The only thing we didn't use on this side was a primer. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm going to finish the rest of my face, just concealer, blush, bronzer, that really quick, easy stuff, a lip. And then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my thoughts on how it's wearing, on how it's set, on how everything came together today, and decide whether this Sicily very expensive primer is worth the buy or not. Okay, so I am back. I finished my entire face of makeup, as you guys can see right here, and I think I have some well-developed first impressions on the Sicily primer. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that, like you guys saw, we have one side with the primer on and one side without the primer on. So I went ahead and did concealer, I baked, I did blush, I did bronzer, I did highlights, and I noticed a few things that were a little bit different on each side from me doing those things. The first thing I want to touch on is baking. So you guys know that baking is a part of my everyday routine when I do a full face of makeup, because if I don't bake my under eyes with powder, then my under eye concealer is going to crease really badly. Baking is just putting the powder right on the under eyes and letting it sit there and then dusting it away. So I went ahead and did that on both sides. I also used the Laura Mercier concealer because this is a lightweight consistency. Very nice, and it's a good fuller coverage consistency. I used it on both sides, and I noticed that on the side where I did use the primer, I felt like my skin looked so much smoother and just looks so nice and airbrushed in that under eye area. As opposed to this side, when I dusted off the powder, it was taking me a little bit harder of a hand to really go in and dust it away. It wasn't really budging. It was kind of sticking on there. Another thing that I noticed a lot when I was doing my makeup was that whenever I was applying like bronzer and also my blush, I had a harder time blending it out on the side where we didn't have any type of primer on. It was just very hard. I found myself really having to go in and blend and blend and blend. And then there was also a little bit of separation on this side that I noticed with my blush. So that's just something that you guys can see. when it comes to not using primer and how it can really affect the longevity and how everything lays on top of your foundation. The side that we primed looks absolutely beautiful. It had no issues. Everything went on super smooth, super quick, and we could just carry on with the rest of our day without having to really go ahead and go in full force, having to sit here and bronze and blend for an extra 5 to 10 minutes. So far, I have to say I do like it, but I'm not seeing something that is so life-changing for me not to just continue using what I already have and have to spend $192 again and again and again. So that's why I feel like it's so important to do these wear tests, because this is where we're really gonna put it to the test and see how it's going to last until late night. So today I did get a late start. I'm not gonna front to you guys. It is actually right now 3:25. I started filming, I think, at like 1-ish. It's now 3:25, so that lets you know how long I've been filming. But I'm going to be back at midnight. I'm gonna wear this until midnight because I want to see how this is going to do, and then we can go ahead and decide. So we're in for a very long day, and I'm hoping that everything goes well. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think it's good, but it's not like blowing me off my freaking socks right now. So I'll be seeing you guys in some hours, and we can decide whether this is worth the buy or not. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I am back. It is now 12:18 in the morning. So first things first, before I zoom in, my skin is dewy. I do have to say this side isn't as bad, I feel like, as this side right here, like especially right in this area, I feel like it is a little dewier, but there's definitely some dew shining through on the Sicily side. It's not like perfectly matte. This doesn't claim to be matte whatsoever, but I just feel like it definitely looks a little bit more in place and put together than the side where we don't have primer. Right here, you can see that some of the product came off in this area right here. I wanted to leave it so you guys could see it. On this side, the product did not come off at all. So that's just something to note. The product stayed on pretty well on the side with the Sicily primer. I have to say, it didn't really budge. It looks still like the way that it did when we first applied it. Considering that it is now midnight and we applied it around 1 p.m., definitely a good sign. So that being said, I've been eyeing it all day and kind of seeing which side looked better. I asked quite some people what they thought, which side looked better. A lot of people did say this side looked better, which I completely agree with, because I feel like this side with no primer, whenever I don't wear primer, I feel like it just doesn't look good. So I feel like it really showed you guys the difference between having a primer on and not having a primer on. Now, that being said, I feel like this Sicily primer is very nice in the sense that it keeps the foundation on and in place. But do I think it's worth $192? Like, am I seeing some drastic results from the primers that I usually use? No, to be completely honest. And maybe it's because I need to wear it more, but I feel like I can easily tell with a primer if it's gonna be like a drastic change, something that's gonna blow me off my socks right away. And I just feel like it's a great primer. I feel like I would pay like $60 for this type of primer. I don't know, that's just me. I mean, if you guys think that there's a really big difference between this and this that you've never seen with any other primer, you can let me know down below in the comment section. We can talk about it. But I really feel like this doesn't outdo or perform better than things that already have that range between $30 and $60, $70 tops. You know what I mean? I'm gonna continue trying this though, and if I feel like for some reason it blows me off my socks completely, I will mention it in my November favorites and get back to you guys and be like, okay, maybe this is worth $192, but right now I don't think this is worth $192. I think it's a good quality primer. Like, you know, this looks very nice, the fact that everything's still in place, but it's not like, oh my God, this is like worth $192. Now that being said though, I do feel like because I have purchased it and I purchased it in Europe and there's no way I would ever return this, I do feel like this is a primer that I would want to use when I'm going to be having a very long day and I need my foundation to last, because I am seeing the longevity of it. Like when I really, really need it to last, I feel like this will be good. So I'll probably use it for more so special occasions. I wouldn't use this for everyday basis considering the price tag. So those are all my thoughts. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I took one for the team, spent my hard-earned bucks on it, and also am up right now midnight. I'm a granny, like I go to sleep really early, so I'm just like... So if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing these types of videos. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. I would love for you to become a member family here on YouTube, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. And if you are subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time that I upload new videos, because I want you guys to be the first ones to watch it. And that being said, I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.